watching the Florida Sports Programming Network.
Welcome, high school baseball fans, to FSPN's coverage of South Florida high school baseball. We have a good one for you today between the visiting Cavaliers of Coral Gables that are led by their head coach, Antonio Rodriguez, and they're paying a visit to Westland Gardens Park to face the home team, the Mater Academy Lions, that are led by their head coach, Humberto Bencomo. We should have a good one for you today. On the mound for the Cavaliers, it's Julian Saavedra. And for the home team, the Mater Lions, it's the senior right-hander, Vladdy Vadelpina. And today's broadcast has been brought to you by Florida State Tentless Termite Service. Give them a call, save 10%, and avoid putting a carp or a tent on your house. We'll be right back with the starting lineups and the defense right after this. Welcome, high school baseball fans, to FSPN's coverage of South Florida high school baseball. Let's go over the defense for the home team. On the mound is Vladdy Vadelpina, the senior. Behind the plate is Andy Castillo. He's also a senior. Playing third base is Yodelkis Quevedo. Brandon Lorenzo is getting the start at shortstop. Next to him, it's Iker Noguera. Brian Arrieta, the seniors, at first base. Playing right field, it's the junior Brian Fernandez. The senior Alfred Rosario's in center field. And Judy La Rosa rounds out the defense for the home team, the Mater Academy Lions. And now that we have a moment, let's go over the starting lineup for the visiting Cavaliers of Coral Gables. The leadoff batter is the shortstop, Reinfer Gonzalez. He'll be followed by Julian Saavedra. He's the pitcher. Batting third, it's Timothy Negron. In the cleanup spot, it's Brian Santana. He'll be playing first base. The catcher is Jake Wolfson, and he'll be the fifth batter. Kevin Caffey is playing center field. He'll be followed by Diego Llanes playing third base, batting seventh. Then it's Manny Rodriguez, the DH, and he'll be followed by Frankie Suriel, and that rounds out the Cavalier lineup. It's Uncle Muggs bringing you the play-by-play from Westland Gardens Park, and we're about to get underway with the first pitch. Gonzalez steps into the box for the visiting Cavaliers. He'll be followed by Julian Saavedra, and they're going to face the right-hander Vladdy Vadelpina. First pitch is over for a strike. And let's bring up the scoreboard and get us started here. Pull up a chair. Thanks for joining us. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Hialeah Gardens. And there's another quick strike. The wind is blowing a little bit from right to left across first base, over into left field. The sun is starting to set, and the lights are on here at Westland Gardens Park. 0-2 the count to the leadoff batter. And there's one taken high and away for ball one. The Gables Cavaliers come into this game with 7 wins, 10 losses, and 1 tie. And they belong to the District 15 Class 7A. There's a foul ball, and the count will stay at 1-2. The Cavaliers are 3-1 in their last 4 games, and they'll play Killian and Brito next week. Here's the 1-2. Curveball, strike 3. Una croqueta repartida for Vadelpina. Julian Saavedra steps into the box for the Cleveland Cavaliers. For the Coral Gables Cavaliers, I hope they don't have LeBron. He's going to face Vadelpina. And that ball's popped straight up. Iker calls for it in the second base, and he'll make the play in shallow right field for the second out. The Cavaliers are going to send up the third batter, Timothy Negron. He's playing left field today. He'll face Vladdy Vadelpina, who I have a feeling that is going to open up the bakery and have the croquetas distributed today, caserita style. Ball inside, 2 outs, scoreless game, top of the first inning. Uncle Muggs from Westland Gardens Park. One and one now the count to the right-handed batting left fielder Timothy Negron. And in other scores from around the league, there's a ground ball to Noguera at second base, and he'll make the third out. We'll be right back to a scoreless game. We're heading to the bottom of the first inning. You're watching FSPN from Westland Gardens Park. All right, welcome back to FSPN's coverage of high school baseball. We have a good one between the Cavaliers, the visiting team, and the home team, the Mater Academy Lions. On the bump for the Lions is Vladi Badalpina, and he'll be facing the 4th, 5th, and 6th batters for the Cavaliers in the likes of Brian Santana, Jake Wolfson, and then it's Kevin Coffey. First pitch from Badalpina is inside. Troy's got him to second base. Yoleki's Quevedo's base hit. And there's a ground ball to Noguera on the right side. He's going to scoop that up. No, it gets past him. Out in the top of the second in a 1-0 game from Westland Gardens Park. There's a good look at Blatty on the mound. There's a look at your runner. Fastball didn't miss by much. He really wanted that one. Top of the second, we're hoping that we don't have to use any Belitas, even though I have them here in the safe. Things get crazy, we'll break them out, but not until about the 5th inning. And there's a ground ball hit to the left side. Lorenzo boots that one, and somebody greased the ball or something because the Lions can't seem to get a hold of it. So with Sata on first base, Brian Santana on second. The batter's Kevin Coffey. The pitcher's Vladi Badalpino. I'm Uncle Muggs, and the corners are in for the Lions trying to cut one down. Squares the bunt. He bunts a nice one to the right side. He's going to get scooped up by Quevedo, who gets there in a hurry. A nice play by Yodelkis. Scoring opportunity here with 1 out in the top of the first in a 1-run game. They have runners on second and third base. There's a slider that's just low and away. It's an easy take, 4 straight pitches and a walk. Base is going to be loaded here in the top of the second. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the DH for the Cavaliers. Swung on, and that got away from Castillo. Umpire saying a fair ball, so we're going to have a pass ball and a tie game here from Westland Gardens Park. Okay, so that was a strikeout for Manny Rodriguez. Runners are going to be on second and third base. They are 2 outs. We're in the top of the second inning in a 1-1 game. First pitch up high. Gets a sign from Castillo. And there's a weakly hit ground ball up the middle. It's gobbled up by Lorenzo. He goes across the diamond to Arrieta. And the Cavaliers are going to leave 2. They get 1. We're going to head to the bottom half of the second inning with a tie game from Westland Gardens Park. And you're watching FSPN. Coming up to the plate for the home team, the Lions of Mater Academy. It's the right fielder, Brian Fernandez, the big lefty. And he's been hot lately. He needs to stay that way here. It's a 1-1 game. We're in the bottom of the second inning. It's turned out to be a beautiful evening. Happy Tuesday, everybody, wherever you may be. First pitch for Fernandez is up high for ball 1. So Bader kicks and deals, and that one's hit high to center field, but Coffey's got a beat on it right at him. Takes maybe 1 step to his right, and that's the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the catcher, Andy Castillo. Gardens Park in Hialeah Gardens. Saavedra calls out Wolfson, and we're going to take a minute to say thank you to Florida State Tentless Termite Treatment. They can come out and put you on a treatment program and spray your house every so often, and you can avoid putting a tent all over your house and all the hassles that come along with that. Mention you heard this ad on FSPN and receive an extra 10% off. One out, bottom of the second inning in a 1-1 game. The catcher's in the box. Julian Saavedra is the right-hander. That slider's over for a strike. Saavedra checks with Jake behind the plate. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's hit drilled into left field, but right at Negron, who comes in on it a few steps and catches it in the air for the second out. The second inning, Saavedra has retired the last 4 Lion hitters in a row, and first pitch swinging is the shortstop. Stick with us. Tomorrow we'll be right here, 6:30 start for the Conchs of Key West, and they're always tough. Swing and a miss by Lorenzo, evens the count at 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Swung on, check swing. It gets away from the catcher, and there goes Lorenzo. Wolfson throws down to first base, and it's a little bit high. It pulls Santana off the bag, and the Lions are going to have a runner on first base for the leadoff batter, Noguera. Quickly 1 strike to Noguera. The red-hot Esponda's on deck. Saavedra comes set, and he's from the full stretch now. And that one, I think, almost catches Noguera that the Lions have right now. And there's one that's hit to left center field. Coffey's going over. He runs a long way to track that one down. The Lions are going to leave one. They get none. We're going to head to the top of the third inning with your score 1-1 from Westland Gardens Park. And don't change that channel. You're watching FSPN. Welcome back to FSPN's coverage of high school baseball. We have a good one. It's a tie game here at Westland Gardens Park between the visiting Cavaliers and the home team, the Mater Academy Lions. The Cavaliers are going to send up their first batter, Rainifer Gonzalez. He's the shortstop. He struck out his last time up. Valpina from the stretch. Evens the count at 1-1. Run. That's an easy one when it hits you in the lower back. Boy, Gonzalez is feeling it as he limps down to first base. He's going to need some medical assistance. So for the second consecutive inning, the Cavaliers have their leadoff batter aboard against Vladi Badalpina. It'll send up the pitcher Julian Saavedra trying to help his own cause here in the top of the third. He squares the bunt. He pops it up to the right side, and Castillo couldn't get to it, just out of his reach. Hawks were the home team. Here it's 1-2 strikes. And there's a Crocatica big out there for Badalpina. That's going to bring up to the plate for the Cavaliers Timothy Negron, the left fielder. He grounded at second base his last time out. He has a runner in scoring position, but there's one out in a tie game. Top of the third inning here at Westland Gardens Park. Gonzalez on second base. There's a slider up high, and there's a snapback throw. Boy, I'll tell you, Castillo's got a cannon. More right-hander. Went to the mound today for Brian Alvarez and got the win for the Vipers. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Another snapback throw. Boy, that time they got him. Wow, what a cannon. That's going to end the inning. Nope, 2 outs. I apologize. 2 outs. Negron makes it to first base. Okay, the pitch was ball 4 to Negron. He's on first base. Santana's the batter now with 2 outs. And there's a slider, a beautiful slider, a late breaker, and a hard one as well. 1-1 game from Westland Gardens Park. There's a fastball swung on, hit to the left side. Quevedo's going to go to second base for the sure out, and they're going to end the inning. The Cavaliers are going to leave one. They're going to get none. We're going to head to the bottom of the third inning in a 1-1 game from Westland Gardens Park, and you're watching FSPN.
You're watching the Florida Sports Programming Network.
Welcome back to the bottom of the third inning from Westland Gardens Park. We have a tie game between the visiting Cavaliers and the home team, the Mater Academy Lions. And up to bat now for the Lions, it's the DH, the junior Miami-Dade commit, the red-hot Jonathan Esponda. He'll be followed by Yolekis Quevedo, and then it's Brian Arrieta, the hitting specialist. They're all going to face Saavedra, and Johnny first pitch swinging, strike one. Good throw from Andy Castillo, the Lions catcher, to cut down a Cavalier runner on second base, and he threw that one from his knees. Sponda takes that one for 1-1. And night has fallen here on Hialeah Gardens, and it's a beautiful evening. Must be around 70-something degrees. Absolutely no wind to speak of, so you can walk around with one of those velitas. And there's a big curveball up high for ball two. And we're in the bottom of the third right now with a 1-1 game. Here's the payoff pitch, slider, and that one's skied into center field, but it's the shortstop Gonzalez calling for it, and he'll make the play in shallow center field for the first out. Yodelkis Quevedo is about to face Julian Saavedra with one out in the bottom of the third inning in a 1-1 game from Westland Gardens Park. Saavedra's first pitch is swung on. There's a hard hit ground ball to the shortstop. He picks it up cleanly. Gonzalez throws high to Santana, but he makes the grab for the second out of the inning. Bottom of the third in a 1-1 game. The Lions bring up their fourth batter, their first baseman, the hitting specialist Brian Arrieta. The Southwestern Iowa commit will face Julian Saavedra, who's retired the last two batters in a row. On FSPN, we have the Key West Conchs that are led by their legendary head coach, Ralph Henriquez. Here's the 1-1 to Arrieta. It's curveball, and it's hit to the shortstop. Gonzalez picks it up cleanly. Now he drops it. No, he never had that one. It's hard to tell here. We have to look through a dirty glass and a fence. The Gables Cavaliers have two errors, so do the Matter Academy Lions. With two outs in the bottom of the third, the senior center fielder swings at the first pitch for a strike. High IQ player, had a great base running play in Nevada. 2-2's taken over, a slider for strike three. The Lions are going to leave one, they get none. We're going to head to the top of the fourth inning in a tie game, 1-1. If you're watching FSPN from Westland Gardens Park. Welcome back, everyone, to FSPN's coverage of high school baseball. We have a tie game between the visiting Coral Gables Cavaliers and the home team, the Matter Academy Lions. And in the box right now, it's Wilson, the catcher, and he'll face the right-handed pitching Vladi Baldopina, who throws a slider over for the first pitch, and it's a strike. These Cavaliers have yet to record a hit, but they have one run. There's a fastball that swung on. Missed. Here's the 1-2. And that one swung way back, and that's the second time that Baldopina hits the dirt out there. You gotta check the maintenance, send the grounds crew out there. Here's the 1-2. That one's outside, on the outside corner for strike three called. The center fielder Kevin Caffey steps in to face Baldopina, who has 4 croquetas issued in 3 1/3 innings. I mean, that's a pretty good number. Wow, that one goes on top of Caffey's head. Led to the Cavalier run at the top of the second inning. And there's one about the same spot, but he's going to give him a free pass. Cavalier on first base. All right, making his way to the mound, and this is the slow walk for Tito. This is the one that I'm just going to come and talk to you. He has another couple different walks, and he's going to talk to Blally. He's going to leave him in there. We're going to take a quick break, and you're watching FSPN from Westland Gardens Park. Go Lions. Welcome back to Matter Academy's field. It's called Westland Gardens Park. It's a public park here in Hialeah Gardens. It's a beautiful park. Tons of baseball here. They have racquetball or squash or whatever that is. And that was a quick mound visit. You saw on your screen there Tito Rodriguez, the brother of Ivan Pudge Rodriguez, the Hall of Famer, 13-time Gold Glover. And he leaves Baldopina in there. He quickly throws to first. Not in time, says the base umpire. Kevin Coffey's on first base with 1 out. We're at the top of the 4th inning. Diego Llanes is your batter. Manny Rodriguez is on deck. And from the stretch, it's Vladi Badalpina. Nice slider in there. He gets over for a strike. Badalpina gets his sign from Castillo. And there's a ground ball hit to the left side. It could be 2. Lorenzo goes to Noguera for 1. And it's broken up over there nicely by Kevin Coffey. Clean play. 1 out. 2 outs. All right, Rodriguez steps in for the Cavaliers. Diego Llanes hit into a fielder's choice. And there's 2 outs in the top of the 4th inning in a 1-1 game. Another slider on the inside corner, just missed. Ball 1 from Badalpina. Big pitch here, 3-1. And he walks him. The Cavaliers will have runners on first and second base for the last batter, Frankie Suriel. Coral Gables Cavaliers. Runners on first and second with 2 outs, top of the 4th. First pitch swinging and fouled away. And Bradley needs to get ahead in the count here and put him away. Stop wasting bullets. The runner goes. Castillo throws right on the money, boy, and they fried him like a fried fish in una minuta. The Cavaliers leave none. They get none. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning in a 1-1 game from Westland Gardens Park, and you're watching FSPN. Good throw, Andy. Welcome back to Westland Gardens Park, where we have some good high school baseball between the visiting Cavaliers of Coral Gables and the home team, the Mater Academy Lions. 1-1. We're heading to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Lions are going to send up their 6th, 7th, and 8th batters, and the likes of Heldy La Rosa, Brian Fernandez, Andy Castillo. And if anybody gets on, it's the last batter, the shortstop, Brandon Lorenzo. They're all going to face the right-handed senior, Julian Saavedra, who throws the first one over for a strike to La Rosa. Was on the outside corner. Big breaker. Saavedra has a couple sliders. One of them's tight and kind of stays inside. It looks like a fastball for a long time, and that was the big loopy slider. Looked more like a 12-6. Here's the 3-1. And that one's hit high and deep in left center field. Negron's going back, and it goes over his head right before the wall. And there's the double we were talking about, just like the doctor ordered. The Lions have a runner on second base. Cavalier pitching coach is coming out to have a word with Saavedra. And we might have to take a quick break if he pulls the ball out of his hand. But if he went out there to change him, he would have done it already. I think he's giving them the hang in there kid speech, and we're going to take this opportunity to thank Florida State Tentless Termite Treatment. Say that you heard the ad right here and save 10% and avoid putting a tent or a carp or having to evacuate your house for a couple days, maybe going to a hotel, or even worse, going to your mother-in-law's house. So give these guys a call, put them on the program, put yourself on their program, and avoid any tents and chemicals and things like that. 305-669-9292. The Lions, with no outs in the bottom of the 4th inning, have a runner on second base for their junior right fielder, the big lefty, number 17, Brian Fernandez. Andy Castillo's on deck. Saavedra comes set. Fernandez squares, and he pops a bunt up to third base, and the diving third baseman comes off his glove. And they're not going to have a play. Diego Llanes made an excellent effort at that. He dove head first, a la swimming pool, but he came off the heel of his glove. And Fernandez had a terrible punt, but he got lucky and made his way to first base. Castillo steps in with runners on first and second base for the Lions and nobody out here at Westland Gardens Park. Uncle Muggs bringing you the play-by-play. Florida State Tentless Termite Treatment, keeping the tarp off of your house. Fernandez got away with one there. Another bunt, and that's to the right side. Saavedra's going to pick it up on one knee. He's going to fire to Santana for the first out. Runners are going to advance. Lions are going to be on second and third for the shortstop, Brandon Lorenzo. Lorenzo steps in the box for the Lions, and he has a couple of his compadres on second and third base, and they're ready to score. The corners are in. Actually, the whole infield's in for Rodriguez and his Cavaliers. And there's one that's hit high. Let's see if it's deep enough. We might have a play at the plate. Coffee gets it. He camps out. And here comes La Rosa. Boy, and he's trucking, and I wouldn't get in front of him. He looks like a linebacker running down there. And they're going to appeal that at third base. And they're going to say safe. The Lions have the lead, 2-1. It's going to bring up Aker. And a leadoff double by Hildy La Rosa. They're looking to tack some more on here. It's a swing and a miss. The Lions are going to leave one. They're going to get one, and they have the lead 2-1 from Westland Gardens Park. And you're watching FSPN and listening to Uncle Muggs.
You're watching Miami-Dade and Broward County High School Baseball on the Florida Sports Programming Network. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram for a list of upcoming events. And every Sunday, it's Inside the Park, the weekly recap show with your hosts, Chappie Castillo and Uncle Muggs.
Welcome back, South Florida high school baseball fans, to a good game. If you're a Mater Academy Lion fan, it's 2-1 in favor of the Lions as we head to the top of the fifth inning. The game was broken open by a sacrifice fly off the bat of the shortstop, Brandon Lorenzo, and a leadoff double by Hildy La Rosa. And the Lions have a new arm on the mound. It's the big lefty, the senior, Anthony Rodriguez, and he's going to face Frankie Suriel, the ninth batter for the Cavaliers. Then it's Ranifer Gonzalez and Julian Saavedra. Castillo's behind the plate. Arrieta's at first base. Noguera's at second. Lorenzo's at shortstop. Quevedo's at third. And your outfield is Fernandez, Rosario, and La Rosa. We're heading to the top of the fifth inning. All right, Rodriguez is the pitcher. Suriel's the batter. We had a visit a little while ago from Principal Alex Tamargo, who came up and said hello to us. And he's been a real baseball guy. I mean, he loves his team. He's done a lot of things for this team. He picks up that locker room. And boy, I wish we had a locker room like that when I was in high school. Rodriguez's first pitch is taken low by Frankie Suriel, the second baseman. Butch Carniceros, the athletic director here at Mater. It's another ball by Rodriguez. And in the dugout with Rodriguez, you have Brito. There's Tito Rodriguez. Fahing's in there from time to time, and your head coach is Humberto Bencomo. Athletic trainer Kathy Williams is in there as well. The count goes 3-0 now to the last batter, and this is not the guy you want to walk to start off the inning.
You're watching the Florida Sports Programming Network.
He's been as consistent as they come. There's a strikeout. The Lions leave none. They get one. We're going to head to the top of the 7th inning with your score 5-1. You're watching FSPN.
Welcome back, high school baseball fans, to the top of the 7th inning. All we need is 3 outs if you're a Lion fan, and we'll walk away with a victory, the 13th of the year. Gabo Grandillo is on the bump. His first pitch to Suriel is taken for a ball inside. Suriel will be followed by the leadoff batter, the shortstop, Renfier Gonzalez, and then it's Julian Saavedra. And there's a strike to even the count at 1-1. Another strike. The count goes to 1-2 strikes. Suriel's been walked and he grounded out to the shortstop. We need another one of those right here. Here's the 1-2 strike pitch. There's that slow windup. And they're going to say he didn't go around. A check swing there by Frankie Suriel. The count goes to 2-2. There's a swing and a miss and a croquetica there given away by Gabo Granadillo. Two outs away from a Lion victory. First pitch to Gonzalez, the leadoff batter, the shortstop, who has struck out twice, and he was hit by a pitch that almost cracked him in half. Gabo Granadillo is on the mound. There's a strike to even things up at 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. A little bit outside for a ball. We've had some technical sound issues, and there's a ground ball hit foul through the left side. Hopefully you guys can hear me good now. Two and two the count to the leadoff batter, Gonzalez. Saavedra, the starting pitcher for the Cavaliers, is on deck. Here's the 2-2. A check swing, and that one dribbles down the right side. If it's fair, it's going to be an out. Arrieta picks it up nicely on the fair side, and that's the second out of the inning. So with 2 outs, I want to thank everybody on the Matter side. Umberto, of course, Brito, Ricky, Tito, Fahim, Butch, the athletic director, and of course Alex Tamargo. And on the Cavalier side, I want to take my hats off to Antonio Rodriguez for always putting a scrappy team on the field. Well, good fundamentals on that team. Two outs in the top of the 7th inning. Swing and a miss, and there's that slider from Granadillo. We'll be back at it again tomorrow. We have the Key West Conchs here. And if you haven't watched Inside the Park, we have a good one this week. We go over a lot of the FSP nominees. Swing and a miss, and another hard slider for strike 2. So now the Lions are only 1 strike away from their 13th victory. And you can always watch our warehouse. It's in our library. All the shows are there, all the games we've done. This is our 34th game. Here's the 1-2. There's a slow leg kick, and that one's hit high and left to left field, but foul. We had the St. Patrick's Day special, which is really funny. I dressed up as an elf. Looking for a strikeout here. Gables' third strikeout, the third out of the inning. The Lions win. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow from Westland Gardens Park.